And we will just jump right into this because this entire sequence deserves its own little segment because there are few times in the sports world where I am speechless, where I simply cannot fathom what the other team is thinking, or whether it's my team or another team. I just simply cannot explain it. And it is at these times that sometimes we go into the mind. But if in case you missed it, because it's old news at this point, the clip for this is going to be old news as well. In case you somehow were living under a rock last Thursday, Jerry Jones decided he was going to trade Micah Parsons for 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. Now, raise your hand if you knew who Kenny Clark was before this trade. All right, now put your hand down because you're lying to me. Nobody knew who Kenny Clark was, unless you were a Packers fan or just the biggest, NFL junkie that you can just name defensive tackles on any random team. I didn't know who Kenny Clark was. When I heard his name, I was like, I think I literally said, "Who the heck is Kenny Clark?" I think that was my actual words when I heard that. I got to tell you, this trade was absolutely... there's no explaining it other than this guy is demented. His brain is pudding. Jerry Jones. This is so absolutely astronomically stupid. Even if you want to say that maybe the back stuff, maybe it's real. I mean, hey, look, this Sunday we're gonna find out. He might have to take an epidural shot to play. I don't even if you say that's the case. Right now, if you think of the top 10, even top 5 players on defense in the National Football League, Micah Parsons is in that conversation. Micah Parsons is an absolute game wrecker. And it's not like we're dealing with, let's say, Trey Hendrickson, where he's going to be 31, right? We're not dealing with that. We're dealing with a guy who is 27 years old. His prime. The best years of Micah Parsons are going to be, obviously the few years he's had before, but then this year, the year after, and probably the year after. That 3-year stretch is roughly where you're going to get your best years, especially at his position. And you get 2 first-round picks and a defensive tackle that nobody had heard of. And then it gets worse. Because it'd be one thing if this was just done and nothing was said. That would be problematic enough. But Jerry Jones decided to speak to the media. And this is where we have to play the music, guys. It's one of those moments. Hit the music. This will be a work of art. All right? I hope you're ready. If you haven't heard some of these quotes by this point, get ready. So, and I quote, Jerry Jones, make no mistake about it. Well, let me try that over. And I quote, make no mistake about it. We all know we could have signed Micah Parsons. We decided to go with you. Jerry Jones says they only wanted to deal with teams that had cap room to sign Micah Parsons and had a defensive tackle to trade back. Quote, we gained a Pro Bowl player in that area. We had concerns in. The facts are we need to stop the run. We haven't been able to stop the run in 4 years. And I quote, I really like Micah Parsons. I appreciate the 4 years we had him here. He's a great player. No question I could have signed him in April. This was by design. I made him an offer. It wasn't acceptable, and I honored the fact it wasn't done how he wanted, through an agent. And finally, the cream of the crop. Jerry Jones, and I quote, those draft picks could get us top Pro Bowl type players. I mean, yeah, I guess that's fair. I mean, those 2 draft picks got the Packers Micah Parsons. So I guess that's true. They could get him a Pro Bowl caliber player like Micah Parsons. That's true. All right, that's enough. Enough of the music. Enough. No more. I don't know if there's actually a rule for this because obviously there's no going back at this point. How is this trade allowed to happen? Now you might say, "Oh, you're just a Lions fan. You just don't want whatever." Well, stop. That's not why this is. This guy is so in over his head. He is so completely out of his mind. He refuses to sign a guy that he said they could have signed in April, but he didn't. The problem with Jerry Jones is not just that he's a bad owner, right? That's its own problem. It's that he's your GM. And last I checked, you can't fire the owner. I mean, I've lived with it for years of the Fords. You can't fire the Fords, right? Even in other sports, you can't fire Tom Gores. You can't fire Chris Ilitch. All right. It'd be one thing if you couldn't fire those guys and they're cheap or they're annoying or otherwise just bad for the team. It's another thing when the owner and the GM are the same person. So no matter how bad you get, no matter how tough things get, you can't just restart. And the thing is, if Jerry Jones does sell the team, which he will not, who's he selling it to? His son? Who's he like what do you think is if he gives up ownership rights and he gives up GM, he's going to give it to a yes man, which is his son or some other yes man. As long, and this is kind of unfortunate because of just a fact, as long as Jerry Jones is alive currently, they are not going to win. They're just not going to. He refuses to take any real accountability. He refuses to do the sorts of things that can help the Cowboys build an actual team. So as long as he's alive and has not sold the team, and again, we know that it is far more likely that he is not going to sell the team than that he is, then Cowboys fans, you better, I don't know, start rooting for another team. I don't just stop watching the NFL for at least, 10 more years. Maybe 5. I don't know, actually. Jerry Jones is pretty old, so I don't for at least a decent amount of time. So I would say that I feel bad for Cowboys fans, but I really don't because they're Cowboys fans, and I love seeing the Cowboys lose. But I suppose I feel bad for the individual people who just want to have a competent football team and a competent organization because I understand that. But it is quite funny when you think that of all the teams in the NFL, the Detroit Lions, who had, for most of my life, had one singular playoff win, granted that was against the Cowboys, the Detroit Lions have been to the NFC Championship game more recently than the Dallas Cowboys. Now, if you were just a casual fan, if you just heard of the Cowboys tangentially, you would think that is absurd, but it's not absurd. That's what's even crazier. And to really round this out, I've made this point before, and I think it's worth mentioning now. The Cowboys are not a football team. They are a brand. They are not run the way that a professional football team is run. I mean, you look at how the Eagles are run. You look at how Detroit is run. You look at how Kansas City is run. You look at how Baltimore is run. It's not. It's night and day. It's like Jerry Jones is playing checkers and the rest of the league is playing chess. He's completely in over his head. So, if Cowboys fans love being, America's team for whatever that's worth, if they love, the fact that they get a bunch of national television games, despite the fact that they're really not a draw for people other than to watch them lose, then enjoy this. Because this is the sort of thing that you get when you're run like a WWE program and not an NFL program. So, you hate to see it. I mean, I hate to see it because why'd you have to trade into Green Bay? But, I guess I'm looking forward to getting to play the Cowboys on Thursday Night Football later this season in Ford Field because we knocked them around in their stadium when they had Micah Parsons. So, yeah, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough for them. That's all right. They'll get over it. At least they have Luka. Oh, is that too soon? You got Cooper Flag. Stop complaining. Hey, YouTube, if you like clips like that, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. We've got live shows every Tuesday night. Hope to see you there.